Evelyn had always been drawn to abandoned places. There was something about the decay and the history left behind that fascinated her. When she heard about the old mansion on the outskirts of town, she knew she had to see it for herself. The mansion had been abandoned for over 50 years, its last owner mysteriously vanishing one night, leaving the house to rot and fall into disrepair. The rumors about the mansion were plenty and varied. Some said it was haunted by the ghost of the last owner, others claimed it was cursed. Evelyn didn't believe in ghosts or curses. She was a rational person, a photographer who loved capturing the beauty in the forgotten and the decayed. She packed her camera, a flashlight, and a few supplies, ready to spend the night in the mansion to capture its essence in the eerie moonlight. The journey to the mansion was uneventful. The path was overgrown, barely recognizable as a road. The trees loomed high, their branches intertwined to create a canopy that blocked out most of the sunlight. Evelyn's heart raced with anticipation as she pushed through the last thicket and the mansion came into view. It was grand, even in its dilapidated state. Ivy crawled up the stone walls, and the windows were either shattered or boarded up. The front door hung askew, as if inviting her in. Evelyn took a deep breath, adjusted the strap of her camera bag, and stepped through the threshold. Inside, the air was cool and damp, carrying a musty scent of mold and old wood. Her footsteps echoed in the vast entry hall. Dust motes danced in the shafts of sunlight that managed to pierce through the broken windows. The mansion was eerily silent, save for the occasional creak of the old wood settling. She spent the first hour exploring the ground floor, capturing images of the grand staircase, the once luxurious but now tattered furniture, and the faded portraits that lined the walls. The faces in the paintings seemed to follow her with their eyes, a trick of the light that sent shivers down her spine. As the sun began to set, Evelyn made her way upstairs. The second floor was even more foreboding. The doors to the bedrooms stood ajar, revealing glimpses of broken beds and decaying wardrobes. She moved from room to room, photographing everything, feeling a growing sense of unease. It was as if the house was watching her, aware of her presence. In one of the rooms, she found a small door, barely visible in the corner. It was covered in cobwebs, and the wood was warped with age. Evelyn hesitated for a moment before deciding to open it. The door creaked loudly as it revealed a narrow staircase leading down into darkness. The air that wafted up was cold and carried a strange metallic scent. Curiosity overpowered her caution. She turned on her flashlight and began her descent. The stairs groaned under her weight, and the light from her flashlight flickered, adding to the unsettling atmosphere. At the bottom, she found herself in a small, damp basement. It was mostly empty, save for a few old crates and an iron door set into the far wall. Evelyn's heart pounded in her chest as she approached the door. It was old, rusted, and looked like it hadn't been opened in decades. She pushed against it, and it gave way with a loud, rusty squeal. The room beyond was pitch black, and her flashlight barely penetrated the darkness. Stepping inside, Evelyn felt a chill run down her spine. The walls were lined with shelves holding strange, old artifacts. In the center of the room was a large, wooden table, and on it lay a dusty, leather-bound book. She reached for the book, her fingers trembling slightly. As she opened it, a gust of cold air blew through the room, extinguishing her flashlight. Panic set in. She fumbled with the flashlight, trying to get it to turn back on, but it was dead. The room was now completely dark, and she felt an oppressive presence closing in around her. She could hear whispers, faint and unintelligible, growing louder and more frantic. With trembling hands, she reached into her bag for her phone, using its dim light to find her way back to the door. As she turned to leave, she caught a glimpse of something in the shadows, a figure, barely visible but unmistakably there. Her heart raced as she bolted up the stairs, the whispers following her, growing louder and more urgent. She didn't stop until she was outside, gasping for breath. The mansion loomed behind her, silent and foreboding. She looked back at the house, her mind racing. What had she seen? What were those whispers? Evelyn knew she couldn't leave it at that. She had to know more, to understand what she had experienced. She resolved to return the next day, better prepared. But as she walked away, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched, that the mansion was aware of her intentions and was waiting for a return.